Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Winter Wolf here, King Z over there in that other box. We're going to talk about Fallout Season 2, Episode 6. Just watched it today. We're going to talk while it's still kind of sort of fresh, but I am going to need King Z to walk me through a couple of details. So why don't we just get right to it, dude? What'd you think this week? How's Fallout doing?
I liked this episode. I like this episode start to finish. I think it was great. We touched on Hammer and Haint a little bit. We went a little bit back into the vaults. We saw the Ghoul still being a Ghoul on a pole. And then we had Maximus and was it Maximus and Thaddeus?
Thaddeus.
Maximus and Thaddeus, which if you go back to when he was hiding as the Fate, that was his squire. So
yeah.
I think it's good. I think it's good.
Conversely, this is the first episode I did not like. It was due. It was due to have that episode, right? I've said this before a couple times, and I started to come around on it. And now that you just reminded me that there's only 2 episodes left, I feel this once more. I couldn't care less what happens in the vault at all. Every time this plot shows up, it's like it's water on a toasty campfire. It's expired milk in my cereal. It's the warning light on my gas tank telling me that I'm on low gas, but like the car's actually about to die. Like it just ruins shit. Like it's too little. It's not interesting when they're not about to be on the brink of civil war between the vaults. And the fact that they're wrapping that whole arc around this snack budget not being rescinded, it's just stupid. Like they're focusing on the wrong part for me down there. Like when I saw those security guards with guns, I was like, Betty's coming to lay the smackdown season 1 style, like where it all popped off with that initial violence from the other vault that came in,
which
like,
was the fate vault.
The fate vault, right? But I thought we were going to get some of that kind of tone. Nah, we didn't get that. So it's every time they show up, I get a little bit more disappointed with that. And then we had this one other bit where the Ghoul gets rescued from his Ghoul on a stick status.
Mm-hmm.
It's the title of the episode is The Other Player, so we know they're referring to that character.
No, they're not referring to that character.
It's a third faction. It's the faction that's of things that are already been forgotten.
That's not the real third faction.
That's not the real third faction? Okay,
that's not the real third faction.
We'll discuss that in a minute. We still had a major character introduced, kinda, and then heals the Ghoul. The Ghoul doesn't join up, and instead of killing the Ghoul, he says, "You can't know where we live." Knocks him out and then brings him somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
The Ghoul still knows where you are. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But like, I don't. Well, what was the point? Like, we only have 2 episodes left. Like, no. Like, we need more. And because I was already annoyed by that stuff in the vault, I'm like, that could have been time focused on this situation here, which now needs to be rushed to the penultimate episode and then brought to fruition in the finale. So neither of those things really worked for me.
You do not have to do that.
How so?
Because we have another season. They're just building towards the other season.
Then that circles me back to what I asked you last week. Is season 3 just going to be more about the same stuff and Lucy's dad? I kind of like these completing a story and then doing more interesting stuff in a next season independently of the one that came before it.
I don't think this one's going to be written that way. I think there will be a climax in this, but it won't be one of those satisfying wrapping up loose ends and then a new inciting incident happens. Like it did in the first one. They wrapped up the fire lady and then they got the artifact and then they wrapped everything up.
True. I guess we'll wait and see on that then.
And then they had the dad get to New Vegas, and that was the new inciting incident. I don't think they're going to have this. I think it's going to be a continuation of a 16 episode story arc. Because you couldn't do it in 8. If you did it in 8, it would be so rushed and so yeah. I mean, you could spend 8 episodes just in New Vegas alone.
It probably should. And to be fair,
but you're just teleporting people. You're telling a story here, and they're painting a picture, and I like what they're painting. It might take a little bit longer to get to those satisfying story beats, but I think if we let it cook, it's like you don't rush a good steak.
No,
You got
you definitely don't.
you gotta sear it, then you gotta, butter it up, and then you put it in the oven, and then you
It's
let it
true.
rest,
It's
and
true.
then
And
you
the
bring it
resting is
out and
key.
serve it.
The resting is key. My problem with the episode is that every time I started to get into the stuff I did want to see, they whiplash me to some of the other stuff that I didn't want to see. So maybe it was just cut wrong for me. You know what I mean? Maybe
Mm,
it was just like the order of operations wasn't quite right because the Ghoul is still a great character. The flashback Cooper Howard stuff is still, in my opinion, probably the best part of the show for me outside of the humor that Lucy and the Ghoul have with their back and forth. Like I think the flashback stuff is the best stuff so far. And in this, we realize that he does confront his wife. She hits him with the unpleasant question, like, "Wouldn't you do what I'm doing?" Meaning being a part of the Vault Tech conspiracy to, actually be the instigator of the bombs dropping. It's the only way we can guarantee results. Like, wouldn't you do that to save our daughter too? And he doesn't have an answer for that. And then he has to leave, and he thinks he's gonna go take out young Hank and figure out what's in the lockbox and see if that can prevent a war. Spoiler: it doesn't,
nope.
which was kind of funny. So I like to. I wanted more of, I think, that stuff over the stuff that I got, and I
I
think that's
think
why
they
it annoyed me.
I think they did a great job in the flashback because it started off with a cold open in the flashback of watching
Yep.
Barbara and
Mhm,
her and
mhm.
her job and seeing just everything that she like
Oh, dude.
everything she has to go through to play that role to make sure that
Yep.
her and her family's safe. She's doing this for a means. She's not doing it because she's a mustache twirling bad guy. She's
Yeah, she's
doing
not
this
part of the
because
cult.
she just wants to protect her family because
Yeah.
the way they view it is that war is inevitable. It's going to
Yep.
happen. So she just wants to protect them and willing to do anything. And like the time where it zooms in and you see the one tear fall before
Yeah.
her next meeting, that tells you everything you need to know about her. And I think it was great. Like they had the one guy who was like, we get to choose who has water problems, which we're seeing in
Any
there.
preferences?
Yeah.
That's the cold open was great, and it was great because it's this stacking sequence of these morally dubious and really, and not even morally dubious. They're these evil scenarios, like you said, about, our water chips have a 30% fail rate. The good news is we know where they're going, so we can short whoever we want to. Like, what do you think? Yeah, and one of the other execs shows up and he's like, we got 30 minutes early warning. We'd be stupid not to offer premium access to the freeway exit system to our VIP customers. And I'm like, some mustache twirling corporation of 1%er dickweeds would absolutely try to monetize the apocalypse
Oh
that way.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't
So
want to leave
cold
money
open
on
is
the
spot on.
table.
And I even think he even said that. He said, there's money on it's money for the taking. And
Yeah.
like, yep, that about tracks. That all works.
Oh
You
yeah.
know?
That's capitalism 101 right there.
Right. And it's Fallout dark humor too, because I feel like that's the kind of stuff you would have found on some of the holo tapes that you would collect in the game and put in the
Mhm.
terminal, read all the employee reports and shit like that. So again, it feels very on brand. So it's not that the show has veered off any kind of course. I just
Mm-mm.
I was kind of this week I was legitimately bored watching most of it for the first time in a season and a half. And I felt compelled to just kind of point out that it just was always authentic here. We always try to at least tell people what we honestly thought. I'm not gonna overglaze something, and I'm not gonna hate on something just because it's made by somebody whose opinion I don't agree with. Like, I'm gonna shoot you straight. It was not an entertaining episode for me, despite having had a couple of good points. The cold open was one. I think Lucy trying to bring her father to justice was another little interesting plot segment that they had here. You want to talk about that one because I think that's a main thrust going forward, probably setting up your third season.
Yep. 'Cause, if you watch the after the episode, you see
I did
the
not.
preview of it, and, like, you see Lucy in a certain outfit,
Say
and
less. Yeah.
yeah. So, that was actually quite brilliantly done, like, you have people like, where he was introducing people as she's taking them out in handcuffs, and, like,
Mhm.
how he played along without him being brought to justice, and he's like, "I raised you right. I thought the wasteland would change you, but nope.
Golden rule
Yeah.
still applies.
So he's like, all right, let's take me in and get
I like that he was like, he's like, make it official. Let's use the handcuffs. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. Are they going to reverse cinch onto her? Like, what's the gag here? Like, what's going to? Nope,
No,
they're just cuffs.
they're just cuffs.
You know.
But when you meet the people and she's like, she was a murderer. And she's like, yeah, I was. And now she's the best pencil sharpener.
That was kind of, it's definitely a collection of fucking monsters is who he has working for him. Obviously, with the chipsets or whatever, what was it, the Robco automated man? Is that what the device was called? When they had the other flashback? Yeah.
Yeah, because robots break down, people don't.
Yeah. I mean, we do.
But yeah, we do. I mean, I'm
just right
an example of that. The way I like this is because you asked last week, where did they find this guy? And then he kind of said, like, all around. I just found people and they wanted to forget who they were.
Yeah. Opted in.
Yeah.
So she says, when we leave the hidden, that they're in the VIP vault bunker, whatever, she takes them into custody. And she says, oh, no, we're going to leave the door open on the way out so these people can go. And then she even makes like the impassioned plea. She's like, all right, you guys can all go. You're free now. And they're all like looking around like,
do we have to?
Do we have to leave? I just want to sharpen pencils and
it sucks up there.
Right. I'm like, oh, interesting. Like that would be a point of contention. Like, do I take the red pill or the blue pill? You can tell more if you shove that red pill up his ass.
Yeah.
Like that's the cipher. You know what I mean? That's the cipher situation. So
and then watching how it works, and like they kind of automated, they perfected it, because remember we go back in earlier episodes, people's heads were exploding.
Right.
And remember, this is a process that Hausen started as well.
Yeah. Years ago. Like pre-war. This is something we've been working on pre-war.
And I think that's who he was talking to, where he was trying to get a job for Hausen. So Hausen's somewhere alive still, kind of like
brain in a jar situation. Yeah.
Which you saw the plans for that in the cold opening. Which
so you want to, what would it say? So you want to separate your brain or transcend mortality. Yeah. Like that was funny. I noticed that sketch. And again, that's typical Fallout. Typical.
That was Bud Atkins was the brain Roomba.
But I mean, even just the look of it, like the design, the goofy 50s corporate jingoism stuff. Like that. I mean, I just reinstalled Fallout 4. It's all over the game in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, when you want to figure out like the influences of the 1950s on sci-fi, it totally just buys into that whole lifestyle that they had back then, what they thought the future would look like.
Right.
I mean, Jetsons is the perfect example of that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Not wrong there. I'm trying to think of what the other. I feel like last week I had so many different plot points that I wanted to bring up, but this week I feel like it was all really streamlined. The Ghoul was trying to get himself off the stick,
which I think was great, because he's battling to keep his humanity, which is a great story. And he's like, my name is Trooper Howard.
Yep.
And he's like, I have a daughter. And his daughter was like the point that really kept him. But you saw him flashing back into Ghoul because
with the snarls and the fucking muscle jerks and spasms and shit. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. As the meme says, is Mr. Goins there has been checked into the hospital with a big injury in his back for carrying the Fallout series.
Oh, I've seen that. I have seen that. No, but I've said that. I think you said it too. For as long as we've been watching a season and a half of this show, he's great. Ella Purnell as Lucy is distractingly, charmingly funny with being the fish out of water, like golden rule, but getting this edge that the wasteland is rubbing off
to eat at her
candy coat. Right, it is. She is still very much justice focused, justice forward, but she knows that the vault lies. You know what I mean? That the vault is a lie. It is fake. It is fabricated. The people there are real. People, they can be hurt. There are people that she cares about there and whatnot. But the wasteland is just a different kind of harsh than the vault could be, you know? Yep. So she's great. But Walton Gong is as performing that dual role as Cooper Howard and the Ghoul. Like the menace of the Ghoul and the charm of the actor that becomes the Ghoul are two great roles that he's kind of just banging out at once.
And then when not pouring away ever himself up the pole and he gets there, I'm like, what is he going to do now? Like, how is he going to do it? And then
I said that
right back down.
Like, dude, what's the move when you run out of shit to grip to pull yourself up that high? Like,
Yeah.
what's the play? Do you then reach behind you and tricep
See,
extend? I mean,
I
I
think
guess.
if he was forward and he pushed himself up, then you
Yeah,
can
you push
actually
yourself off.
get yourself off, but
Right.
pulling up, at a point, you have nothing left.
That's so you gotta go for the reach behind and then fucking triceps extend over the top and then roll. You ain't doing that. Your
Yeah.
arm's probably not that long.
And then
Maybe his
this
arm.
is where we get introduced to the super mutants who came in, broke the pole, pulls him in, and he's pretty much fighting for this. They're fighting for the side of the abominations, which they are the enemy of the Brotherhood.
All right.
That
So not the other player.
not the other player.
Capital OT, OP. Okay. Then who's the other player that they keep talking about then?
You don't remember, do you?
No, I don't.
Okay,
I
we'll get to
honestly
that.
don't. Okay.
So
Next week or right now? Like, when we getting to that now?
in just a little bit, we got to talk
All
about
right.
Maximus and Thaddeus.
Yeah. Let's talk about them.
So they drop the armor. We finally get back to them. Like they have whole episodes where you don't see nothing of these guys.
True. They have been absent after that one big episode they had.
Yeah, and it's like we have to leave it behind as they can track it. And it's like, and then you're like, the armor isn't all what it's cracked up to be. And I'm like, I really don't think that, because we know what's in Vegas, and you're going to need that armor for it, which once again hinted at. But I think
And
they're
if it had
hinting
a
at,
tracker, you should get rid of it earlier.
yeah. But I think they're hinting at a little bit more from the Fallout 4 one, where it's a privately built armor and not one from the Brotherhood. So they set up camp, and then they start talking. They talk about. He shows the artifact, which is the cold fusion.
Cold fusion.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, we need the one that's like, we need to sell it. We need to make money. It's like the whole time he's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it to someone good. He's like, hey, we need to sell it. You know how much money we have, and then we need to be those good people.
I see. I thought that was actually a fairly profound scene.
Yeah.
Thaddeus is talking about, because Maximus says, I want to give it to that girl. She's a good person. And then Thaddeus is like, listen, she grew up in a vault, loads of food, mountain of resources,
I would be a
water,
good
everything
person
she needed.
too.
I'd be a good person too if I had some of that shit. Let's sell that shit and then we can get all that. And then I
Yeah.
can be a good person.
And then we could be a
And
good
I'm like,
person.
they weren't playing that the end of that scene, they weren't playing for yucks. Like, it started funny with the why don't we just sell that shit?
Yeah, it started
It
at the beginning when
became,
they first leave the
yeah,
armor, but then it gets into a more serious
yeah,
conversation.
it
But
got
the funny
deep.
part was that
Yeah.
that it was the same conversation.
Yeah, it definitely got deep by the end of that.
But
But
then the dog,
yeah, go ahead.
the
Yes.
dog, because at first he's trying, he's like, get me my satchel. I need, because he needs his
You're talking about the ghoul.
serum. Yeah, the
Ghoul,
ghoul.
back on
The
the
ghoul
ghoul.
needs
Yeah.
his serum so he
Yeah.
doesn't turn into full ghoul, and that much damage and it repairing will put more ghoul into him. So he needs the serum to undo all of that.
Suppress it. Yeah.
And he says, get my satchel, and the dog grabs its hat and runs off. He's like, dumb dog. But it comes
That's pretty
back.
funny.
The dog comes up to Maximus and Titus, drops the hat off, and they're like, I guess he wants us to follow him. And then they go follow him, and then he brings them
find the ghoul.
to the ghoul. So we're getting a switch. We're not having Lucy in the ghoul, we're having Maximus in the ghoul.
So remind me, they met previously in season 1, right? But it must have been short, because when they show up, the ghoul's like, oh damn it.
It was from when they
when
it all came together at the end, when they fought the fire lady and stole the cold fusion and everything that.
That's right. And I was like, oh, okay, all right. So we're all in the same place with them now. So now we're gonna go back in to find Lucy. Like, okay, I mean, that tracks. That's a mutual goal. I'm sure that they both want. I mean, the ghoul probably wants to go kill her and make sure his family can be taken out of cryo.
Yeah,
like, he's probably not a big fan of her right now, but he did have some lingering guilt though. When he sold her out, like,
because she showed him at the end of the flashback. She comes in and she uses the thing that's in the case after Cooper Howard like drugs him and gets him wicked drunk. They stick him in the neck and they pull out the bead that she puts into the canister that is the cold fusion. That's what it actually is, that little bead. And this is where you find the third party. She's in the elevator. and the
Oh,
dude
the
with the
doctor?
glasses was there. Do you not remember him?
He's the doctor from season 1. He's from the Enclave. The Enclave's the third party. He's the
Yeah,
third
the
player.
Enclave's the third party.
Oh, see, I wasn't even thinking that it was them. I thought they were gone. I thought, oh no, they wouldn't be gone.
Yeah.
So he was running away from them in season 1. They've never been on the show. It's only been him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Good call.
Because that's
The Enclave
remember,
is
this
still
is
the power
200
structure
years
behind.
after the bombs dropped,
Right. That's
and
what I'm saying.
he's
So the
still
Enclave
alive.
is just the power structure that was in the war.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense. Yeah, dude. Because
So
I remember
they're
when he was on the elevator with his wife, I'm like, oh, cool, it's that guy
yeah.
that stole the research and bailed and got
He's
himself
the one
shot
who
in the neck
stole
or
the
whatever
cold
happened.
fusion again
Right.
and put it back into the world.
Right. Right. I remember that. I just didn't connect that the Enclave would have been the unknown third party. That's right. You know what?
That's who
And I
Cooper
guess
Howard can't see. Not Cooper Howard, but Robert Housen.
right. But okay. So then the Enclave is not the power structure behind. Oh no, he's not. Dude, now I'm thinking out loud in the middle of this review video, which annoys me. So the Enclave is made up of who then? It
We
must have
don't
come
know.
after the war. Couldn't have been pre-war because Hausen would have known. Because
No,
he was.
because he doesn't know that they're in play because they're not one of the corporations.
Oh, that's right. He said he was the guy that was going to build the missile shield that would protect Vegas from
Yeah.
these assholes that were playing apocalypse games. Oh, that's right. Okay, true.
So it's
Good.
the
I'm
Enclave
intrigued.
who might have actually dropped the bombs and not
Yeah,
Vault Tec.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued now.
Because
Having
remember, he said
kind of
it's
worked
not
that
your
out.
wife. He straight up told her, it's like, it's not your wife.
Right.
They're just posturing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, there is a third party that I cannot figure out. I can't see it in the math.
Right. You're talking about Hausen in the previous episode
Yeah.
when he met Cooper.
And he's like, how does this revolve around you? And I think if I'm going to play this straight, I believe it has something to do with that congresswoman who
The one who got
was
thrown out.
the one who got thrown out.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think it's going to have something to do with her and something that she started or she's a part of it.
That tracks because I feel like she's the 2 or 3 appearances she's had don't feel random. Like they feel very very well defined for her role.
Yeah, and
I mean, like,
they haven't
there's
done
a
nothing
point to
random
it.
in the
Right. It's all very intentional.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So
I'm still on board. I'm still on board.
So there you go. The whole episode explained.
Yeah, there you go. Makes perfect sense. I'd like to see a little bit more out of Lucy, maybe making some harsher decisions.
Well, she did
Or heading in
ask for
that
that
direction.
pencil,
She did. And she did shank a berserker in the
but
rib on her.
watching them push the red button, that's why I have it in my thing.
Yeah.
Big red button. Those two just like he's there hammering staples into the
Dude.
dude.
Okay. I'm glad
and
you said
just
that, right?
stops.
I thought he was hammering fucking nails into that guy's skull, and I'm like, how is he not dead? What am I missing? And then when he stops and I see staples and I realize the thing in his hand is just an open stapler, I'm like, this is the funniest thing I've ever seen on this show. Because he then was like, oh my God, Jimmy, are you all right? I'll be all right. Like, not to mention the fact that if I hit you in the head 9 times with a stapler, you'd have a concussion. You would not be all right, regardless of the not nails in the brain.
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. But did you catch in the background her father watching her take a Percy Jackson level ass kicking and not intervening? Like he's just like,
oh, he's in handcuffs.
You go over and you hit the button. You know what I mean? Just go do something. It was just his facial expressions, like off center, were just kind of funny. Like I'm just watching him watch the ass kick it. I had a good laugh at that.
It was pretty good.
Funny.
It was pretty good. I like I said, I enjoyed this episode.
Maybe I need to watch it again. Maybe
watch it with what I
down.
just told you, and I think you'll see it different.
You might have helped me connect a couple of dots that maybe I was just frustrated and didn't cinch right away on my own. Because individually, all the parts of the show that I like are still there. Like Lucy's still Lucy, Ghoul's the Ghoul, and that was a great scene on the spike. All the bit that happens in the flashback between Coop and his wife were pretty good. Like she's like, I'm not a monster. He's like, who's a bigger monster than you? Like that's some savage shit. Like there's enough harsh reality there. What did you think of the part though where he gets young Hank sloshed opens the secure box without having to break in, by the way, which struck me as odd. That's just me. That should have been like a level 15 lock pick or something. Just throwing that out there. And then she then walks in the room and knows exactly what that device is for and then extracts the cold fusion from Hank. So was
Mhm.
she expecting him to do this the whole time, or did she just know what that whole thing was about and just
She's
did it
trying
for
to
her own
prove that
gain?
she's not a monster.
Okay, so maybe I do need to watch that again because I went the whole other way. I'm like, was this a setup? Because that would put her on the same side as the Cuban chick that wanted him to kill Hank to prevent the war.
Yeah.
Like if she was just going to steal the cold fusion anyway.
No, she was showing that he wasn't a monster, and
Okay,
what, because he's like, "What is this used for?" And then she
okay,
went and showed him what it was used for, and that's why she had the intervention on the elevator by the Enclave, because they need
mhm,
certain things to fall into place for them to do
right.
what they're gonna do.
Side note: I don't care how drunk you are. If I jam a railroad spike into the side of your neck to extract a pellet, you'll wake up. Just throwing that out there.
Well, he was also drugged.
If I jam a railroad spike into the side of your neck, I assure you, you're waking up. But again, whatevs.
It
Um,
happens.
it happens. Listen, it's Fallout. I guess
Maybe he
maybe he
woke up
had
for a
some bad
second and the
exes.
pain made him pass out again.
Maybe he didn't flinch though, dude. The camera was tight on his face the entire time.
'Cause it
It
didn't
really
actually go in
was.
his neck.
I mean, it was like somewhere over fucking here, dude. I don't know. Let me rephrase. If I stab you with a railroad spike, location indeterminate, you'll wake up.
Indeterminate.
Indeterminate, you'll wake up.
Indeterminate.
All right. I'd say watch more Fallout. I'll watch it
Always
with a
watch
fresh
more
set of
Fallout.
eyes. Always watch more Fallout. I kind of like it. I like the vibe. I know some people are pissy about the canon.
I
Some
think
people are annoyed at
they're
the alt history.
you
I don't know.
can't be too strict and too much of a purist for
Not
this
when it's
type of
based on 40 games and they're telling an original story set in the world.
yeah.
I guess they're combining multiple games into like one story. I don't know. Like there's a vibe to it, and I think they were more after probably the vibe of Fallout than
Mhm.
they were like a strict canonical adaptation.
And that goes back to what we were talking about on Frostcast, which you can go check out in our
Please
POD
do.
on our channel. So
That's our take on Fallout episode 6 for season 2, guys. I gotta go back and give it a second watch. King's convinced me. There's still enough to like there. I think that even you'd probably agree that the stuff inside the vault is slower than the rest of the show. And if it's not focused on that civil war that I thought was coming, it's not
I
as
liked
effective.
I liked this the vault in here, the end part where he's like, "Oh, the guy went missing," and then he's trying to figure out. Then he finds out he's getting married. I liked that part of
Well,
the
because
vault
that
this
ties
time.
into the possible civil war. Because the guy that went missing is the guy that overheard the two overseers' conversation, and then he reported it to the
Yes,
overseer, who happened to be her
I
own.
liked that part and
Right.
him. He's like, "She's not my
Yes.
wife. This is not my
Ooh,
kid."
ooh,
And then they're
it
getting
sounds like
married
it's
that day.
happening.
'Cause
Right.
you saw, like, where he was sitting, they were setting something up, when we saw they had the festival, when they had the
Yeah, it's his
other
wedding.
vault come over. Yeah, it's his wedding.
No, but I mean, that's the interesting part. But the snack budget subcommittee for the fucking products of inbreeding bullshit and how that group is growing, and now they've got like a wait list and they're turning. I don't care. I honestly don't care. It's
Which goes into what the Volt experiment is and what that virus is.
right, right.
That's the reason why you have to keep seeing it.
Yeah.
'Cause it's setting up what you have to know for when they do the big reveal next week.
Yeah, then we'll hopefully if it has maximum payoff, then I guess I just give it a pass as being something that I wasn't too compelled to watch or pay attention to within the broader scope of an episode that has other characters and plot lines that I find really compelling. Like this week, we at the expense of the vault dwellers that also went topside with the one dude getting choked out. We got none of that this week at all.
Yeah.
In place, we got the back below vault stuff.
And I think that it's gonna be him heavy in the next episode based on what I saw
It
at the
has to be.
end.
Yeah. In the post credits. Maybe I'll go
Yep.
back and take a look at that. Okay. I got to get in the habit of watching that so we can talk about that parts as well.
Mhm.
All right, dude. I think we covered episode 6 well enough. Why don't you read us out of here on this one? We'll see these guys next week.
All right. Well, if you haven't caught on, we really enjoy Fallout. If you want to enjoy it with us and leave your comments and let us know what you're enjoying, join us here each week. We will keep reviewing the show. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss it when we're out here discussing it. Also, we have a membership program going on right now. It's only $2. So go ahead and join, and you might get a free gift while you're at it, and a pretty cool free gift at that. And with that said, good night, people.
See ya.